Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Broken Boys. This is episode 218.
I think.
I'm Colin.
And I'm Mike.
And this week, we're going to be talking about the new release from Car Seat Headrest, the Scholars, as well as, other things. A movie we both saw this week.
Big movie.
But before all that, how was your week, Mike?
Week was fine. Same old, same old. Didn't really do too much, but also did stuff. But but not much physical stuff except for the one thing. But yeah, no, it was fine. Just hanging in there, hanging around. Played a new game this week. I played Max Payne 3 because it was in my wish list and it was on a good sale, and I was like, you know what, I'll pay like $3 to play this game. And it's a good one. Rockstar.
This one was like bullet time, right?
Yeah. That's kind of all I really knew about it too. It's kind of weird. It's like in that bridge between like old video game format, but like new graphics and like new gameplay stuff. So like it's very linear, the way the game works, and it feels like, those third person action story based shooters from the 2000s or so. Like it has the same structure as those, but the gunplay was fun though. I think that's the main highlight of it for most people. I enjoyed my time. Probably not like one of my favorite games I've ever played, but it's pretty fun. But yeah, that was something. Continued playing Terraria. Continued that kind of stuff. Yeah. I did watch, like you said, there was a movie that both of us watched this week. Big movie. That of course being Doctor Strange. I watched that with my mom.
Yes.
Everyone's talking about it. Yeah, I watched the first Doctor Strange with my mom sometime last week, I think on Saturday or so. It was fine. I liked it. I know that's a lot of people's like, they say like that's one of the really good ones. I thought it was kind of, it was good. I thought the effects looked great. But yeah, that's kind of where it stopped for me a little bit. I don't want to say stopped, like, because I mean Benedict Cumberbatch, he's charismatic force and stuff, but some of the story stuff was kind of and like it was very hard to follow at a lot of times too, which could be a skill issue. But I also think
it might be a skill issue.
It might be, but I also think a lot of the action itself, like, whoa, we're in these crazy Inception worlds and kaleidoscope effects and shit, but like you can't really follow anything that's going on. It's just a bunch of people being hit from various places. I don't know. It was fine. I liked it. I thought the visuals were really cool. That one scene that people have been making memes about, where I'm forgetting her name, but Tilda Swinton sends Benedict Cumberbatch into like the universe or whatever, punches him into universe. That whole sequence was really cool.
Yeah,
but I don't know, it was all right. But yeah, there was that. But then also, like you said, the actual big movie that came out a couple weeks ago now, but that you and I both saw this week separately. But I saw with Johnny Boy, fan of the pod. Went to see SiNNers, Michael B. Jordan. Yeah, I mean, I guess we could probably talk a little bit more about it later if you want, or something. But I enjoyed it. I do. Jenna and I kind of both walked away with like, this is getting a lot of like gigantic hype, and I'm not sure if it quite lived up to that for us, but I still thought it was a great movie that I enjoyed seeing. It's great seeing, like original ideas and stuff getting put into theaters. and movies that clearly have a lot of love for the craft of filmmaking and stuff. And the music aspect of it was very good too. It was a very, very enjoyable movie. I'm not sure if it's like 10 out of 10 movie experience for me, but I did really like it though. Um,
Mhm.
and yeah. And I wrote that note down as John and I sinned because I thought that was funny. But and we also, yeah, we got some mall food court dinner before that, and
Mhm.
some mall Chinese food that's I think is decent. Um, yeah, that was pretty much
Yeah.
that. Mm-hmm. Trying to think if there's anything more significant that I did. I mean, I listened to a few albums actually. Um, I listened to a couple during the week. One of them being "Off the Wall" by Michael Jackson.
Oh,
um,
like
and
the snare inspired.
who?
Uh,
No, yeah, Mike the Snare. He did the Michael Jackson Deep Discog Dive. I watched that and I was like, I really didn't know a lot of stuff about, I guess, his life and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I knew about the creepy things, but
yeah.
the actual stuff from back in the 70s and 80s and stuff like that, though, was kind of interesting. And like, you know how Michael the Snare kind of puts all those music clips in the video and stuff like that, and like I was like, damn, this shit sounds good. So I listened to it, and lo and behold, the album that everyone says is great is actually pretty great.
Yeah.
Very much enjoyed that. I guess I'll get more into that because we gotta do our monthly roundup this week too. And then I also the most popular album this week on Album of the Year was the new Viagra Boys record called Viagra Boys. And I thought that was pretty good too. It was all right. Not quite my thing, but it's good. And I'll give more details again in the monthly roundup. And then I listened to a couple things last week or last night that I won't talk about in the roundup because I listened to those in the month of May. Holy shit, it is May.
Sure.
It sure is. And those couple things being the Scholars by Car Seat Headrest. Um, I I, I guess I don't know how we want to talk about this one. Do you want to save that one for later too, or like I don't
Yeah,
know.
we can say that.
Okay, we could save that one. And then the other thing I listened to last night was Pirouette by Model Actress. That's a noisy industrial band that blends stuff with dance and I saw someone label as EDM. I don't know if that's correct, but maybe I don't know. But yeah, their new record came out last night, and I thought it was good. I'd still really like that song. I chose a song of the week, the Cinderella track. But the rest of the album, I feel gets a little bit of a tonal clash, just from like how heavily they're leaning into like these bright melodies, but also like this really dark and brooding industrial type noise. Like it,
Mhm.
like it's cool and like it's admirable for them to go for it, but I'm just not entirely sure if it blends for me on the tracks like it does on like Cinderella. But I still enjoyed it quite a bit, and I definitely want to get more listens in because listened to it late last night only once. So, um, but yeah, cool album. Probably give that about like an 8 or so just off a first listen. But yeah, that's really about it for me. I didn't really do too much this week. But what about you, kind sir?
Yeah, I mean it was all right. I didn't do too much. Just work and work.
Mm-hmm.
It's just same old, pretty much for me as well. Um, fucking, I talked about how easy and peaceful it was Easter weekend working at
Uh-huh.
McDonald's, but last weekend, oh boy. Uh,
No more peace.
no, the opposite.
Yeah.
We there was it's getting towards the end of the school year down here,
Mm-hmm.
um, and with that comes bar crawls.
Oh yes, of
And
course.
yes, when bar crawls come a knocking, these college students they start their day at McDonald's and they end their day at McDonald's.
Wow, that's the life.
So I got there at 10. breakfast goes till 10:30. And our lobby and our drive-through were completely full the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Breakfast was still on the menu. Uh, and we weren't very staffed, at least not in a way that was beneficial.
Right.
So we got slammed, and we were completely just we couldn't get all these orders out like in a timely manner. So we fucking it came time to where breakfast wasn't on the menu anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And if breakfast isn't on the menu anymore, if you have a mobile order and you haven't picked it up, or you haven't or it hasn't been made yet, it'll cancel the order and refund you the money on the app.
Oh.
Um, and a lot of people just like, oh, can I had this order? It's like, yeah, sorry, breakfast is over. And they go, so I can't get my food? No, you can't. Sorry. my,
Mm-hmm.
my bad. You maybe don't come to the place that's going to be the most busy for breakfast before going out and doing your bar crawl thing. There's
Yeah.
eat breakfast at home, go to Denny's or something. But man, going to McDonald's really not the smartest decision.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how you look at it, because from their perspective as well, it's like cheap food, cheap fast food.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
supposed to be quick, supposedly, but obviously, like with like you're saying, the circumstances.
yeah, and also cheap is a stretch.
Also, kind of
Especially,
cheaper.
especially breakfast. Breakfast at McDonald's is expensive.
Is it?
Like, yeah, like you eat a biscuit sandwich is like $5.
Damn.
Uh, and then like
For a
the
nugget and a
meal,
biscuit, that's crazy.
yeah, nugget biscuit. um, yeah, like a biscuit. Like if you want like a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit meal, and you want anything but a small drink, it's gonna be like $10.
Damn, that is
And
crazy.
hash browns by themselves are also like $3. So
Whew.
it's like shit's not cheap. I
Yeah.
mean, if you have like deals on the app or whatever, then it helps. But still, it's like it's not like the cheapest thing you could get.
Yeah.
Um, and then on Sunday, everyone was hungover from the bar crawl, so they decided to
Mm-hmm.
come eat McDonald's, and it was just as bad. Real fun stuff. I was in the hole most of Saturday, so it was just
Mm-hmm.
taking money in orders, which wasn't like the worst. I was back there reading Spider-Man comics the whole time, which uh, it wasn't the worst. But my back was
Oh,
killing me from not moving around.
yeah.
But I also, I don't mind if it's that busy. I don't mind just like not being up front and flailing around like a fucking dying fish,
Yeah.
fish out of water. So, but yeah, that was bad. And then most of the week was fine. Otherwise, at work, it was just we were fairly busy, but it's just getting towards the time where people are just like grabbing food and studying and getting ready for the end of the school year. So,
Yeah.
um, it's expected, but I can't wait for these people to be gone. Um,
Yeah. These people.
these people. Um,
Hooligans.
it, hooligans, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Um, but and then our manager who I talked about who was being transferred, her last day
Uh-huh.
was on Tuesday, and that was bittersweet.
Yeah.
But I hope that she gets treated better at the other store that she's going to. She's just a regular manager over there. She's just running shifts. She doesn't have to do overnights anymore. So it should be less stressful on her, and
Mm.
hopefully the people over there treat her with more respect than she got at this store, because boy, was she treated like shit.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully
But
better.
yeah, I hope so. But she was like, oh yeah, we gotta hop on Fortnite, um, with everybody, because
Mm.
she plays on her kid's account, and she's just like, she enjoys it, which is like, okay, well, cool, we'll do that then. But it was bittersweet. It was sad to see her go, but I do hope that the new store is better to her. And if I can't find a job in a timely find a new job in a timely manner, I'm gonna see if I can transfer over there, because I
Right.
would like to work with her. But
Yeah.
yeah, um, yeah, that's basically work this week. On Friday though, after the pod, during the pod, John sent us a text in our little group chat, um, with Quadeca tour dates.
Oh
Um,
yes, yeah, that's right.
yes, and we were all like, yeah, we would go. Yeah, I would do it. And then it just happened to, we're all going to see Quanka live.
Yeah, I saw the tickets were
Uh,
like, was it like 25 or something like that?
yeah, it was like 32 after tax or something.
Yeah, and I was like, yo.
Yeah, and I'm very excited for that. It's going to be I forget where.
It's
It's
at
where you saw Magdalena,
Talia,
right?
yeah, Talia Hall. Yeah,
Right.
pretty
But
cool venue.
yeah, from the videos you got of Magdalena Bay, I'm interested in seeing
Yeah,
that venue.
yeah,
Um, and but that'll be cool. That's in October. I think it's the 10th or something,
yeah,
13th.
something along that.
But excited for that. That'll be
Mm-hmm.
cool.
Quonka
If,
will. Quonka will
Quanka
do.
will, indeed. I'm gonna bring my Quadiki torch to have him sign it.
There you go.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
but that'd be cool. And then we're a couple weeks away from Black Country New Road,
Mm-hmm.
which is gonna be exciting as well.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, yes,
CCC.
yes. Yep. And then on Sunday, yeah, I think it was Sunday. Yeah, me and Max watched a movie called Companion,
Mm.
um, which is it's a movie that came out this year. It's like a kind of a horror movie, more of like a thriller. It's a little funny too. It's got Jack Quaid, who plays Huey in The
Oh,
Boys.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember seeing stuff about that movie. Yeah.
hmm Yeah, it's interesting. There's like a cool little twist with like what the main character is, and like how how all that goes down. It's something I don't want to spoil because I think it's a fun watch.
Cool.
Um, but I would recommend it. Yeah, Jack Quaid is great. I love him very much.
Mm.
Um, and there's some cool little twists and turns throughout the movie that I think would be cool to watch just like without having any of it spoiled. So go check out Companion. That's
Okay.
a good one. Um, and then Last of Us episode 3. We can talk about that later as well.
Yeah.
Um, and then on Monday, I also went to go see SiNNers.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it. I went to one of the theaters down here, which have an IMAX screen, which I didn't know about until a few weeks ago. But I'm glad I found out because I heard that seeing SiNNers in IMAX was like the optimal way to
Optim
view the movie.
yeah, optimal viewing experience.
Yes, and boy was it. I mean, I can't speak to how it was on like a normal screening. I'm sure it was just as good,
Mm-hmm.
but the way that some of the shots were filmed on those IMAX cameras, God, just gorgeous. Very very, it is beautifully shot, beautifully done. The music was great. Ludwig Göransson,
Oh yeah.
fucking love that man. Um, and I like Ryan Coogler's really great too. I think that the first Black Panther movie is really overhyped, but the second one's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he also made a movie with Michael B. Jordan back in like I don't know the early 2010s or mid 2010s called Fruitvale Station,
Mm. I thought you were gonna say
which
Creed.
is
I didn't know they just regular collaborators. Yeah.
uh, yeah, it's called Fruitvale Station. It's I don't remember if it's based on a true story, but it's definitely based in reality. It's like heavy police brutality vibes,
Oh,
and
okay.
uh, it's very well written and very well shot. But that's another good one. And Ryan Coogler, he's very cool, very interesting guy. I've been seeing a lot of interviews with him about SiNNers and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But he seems very down to earth and cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. Go
Sorry, I was just gonna say after we saw it, I did watch like I think a lot of people have seen this video now, but of Ryan Coogler breaking down like the different aspect ratios
ahead.
um at the IMAX screenings and stuff. And I remember you said something around along the lines of like, "Oh, dude, when the aspect ratio was changing and stuff, it looked so cool." I think that's the one thing that our theater did not do.
No.
I don't like I could have just missed it or something, but I'm pretty sure the aspect ratio never changed at all. I think it all
Oh,
stayed the
okay.
same throughout the whole thing. So I guess that would have been pretty cool to get. So like, was your showing like when it like changed, did it have more of like those square like shots?
Yeah, it was
Oh,
more square. It was like, a normal screening is like it's just the rectangular with the
right,
black bars on top and bottom. But like when in certain scenes, like there's a scene where there's like this big music performance,
right.
then it like expanded.
Yeah.
Uh, and then also like before the big climax fight kind of thing, it expanded too.
Mm,
Um, and it just like and the camera quality just like was like, it was already great, but like it just changed to those IMAX cameras, and like there's something about those that are just fucking insane.
yeah. Yeah, that
Um,
probably would have been pretty cool.
it
Yeah.
it was, but yeah, I genuinely really love that movie. I think that it's uh worth the hype in my opinion.
That's
Um,
fair.
just like it really well written. I loved all the actors and the characters. Miles Canton, who plays the preacher boy. I think his
Mm.
name's Sam. The main character. He that's his first movie,
Yeah, I
which is
was
like
seeing stuff on
insane.
that. Yeah.
Because he did fucking awesome. Um, but like Michael B. Jordan, obviously great. Um, and then there was a couple other actors that I had no idea
Mm.
of any of their work, but they did a great job. The actress who played Annie was one of my favorite parts.
Yeah.
Slim was great. Um, and then but Haley Steinfeld, she was really cool as well.
Mm.
There's one really good line that she did before like the climax and everything that was like beautiful
Mm.
and scary. um and also the guy who played Remick, very menacing and cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, but the theater experience was very interesting. There was it was very, when I bought the ticket, it was like me and one other person. It was like
Mm.
4:40 on a Monday. People have work, people have school. I was like, okay, me and one other person, that makes sense.
We'll
It's
vibe.
a yeah, for sure. And then like before I went, I checked to see if anybody else bought tickets, and there was like a couple that bought a couple tickets, and I was like, okay, a couple more people, that's fine. But then I get there, it's like 4:20, and I get in the theater, and it's like pitch black, and I'm
Mm.
like, there's like no pre-roll or anything. There's none of those like trivia
Oh,
things that they play. It was just
interesting.
pitch black. I had to like turn on my phone flashlight to find my seat because I could not see
Mm.
jack. Um, and I was just, I was sitting there. Nobody else was in the theater. I was like, okay. It was like 4:30 or so, and still nobody was in there. It was still pitch black. I was like, am I in the right place?
Yeah.
I think I was. Um, and then all of a sudden at like 4:33, there's a big sign on the wall that says IMAX, and that lit up, and then the screen turned on, and the noise just like it exploded into the theater, and I jumped out of my seat because I was not expecting that.
The THX theme just.
Yeah, it might as well have been because this shit
Yeah.
was loud. Um, but as the trailer started and all this stuff, people started walking in. I was like, okay, there's a lot more people here than I was expecting. And then as the movie was about to start, there were still a couple people wandering in, and I was like, damn, uh, okay,
Oh,
but
yeah, I forgot to mention just while you're here, there was like two people who like came in to the movie like 30 minutes into it.
what the hell?
They like sat right next to John, and I was like, "What the
That's
hell?
so weird.
Why would you do that?" And then one of them was on their phone for half the time too. But anyway,
Oh,
whatever.
fucking awesome,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I had an experience kind of like that where there were like four girls sitting behind me,
yeah.
and they were just they came in like in the last couple trailers, and I was like, okay, that's fine. But like the entire movie, they were talking the entire
Oh,
movie, and
yeah.
it wasn't whispering. It wasn't like I would have been fine if it was whispering. I don't really care. But they were talking at a pretty steady and high volume the
Yeah.
entire time. And the good thing about the IMAX theater is that like the speakers are also really like quality and loud. So like the movie, I could hear it well enough, and I didn't have to like tell them to shut the fuck up
Mm-hmm.
or anything. Because if it was a normal viewing and I couldn't hear anything, and they were just like continuing to talk over, all this stuff, all the dialogue, I probably would have told them to shut the fuck up. If you know, but yeah, I almost did a couple times, but I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna be that guy,
Yeah.
and I don't want to I don't like confrontation.
Yeah. Same.
But yeah, but the entire time they were talking, but towards the end, it was kind of funny because like the climax, they were just like screaming and cheering and like, oh no, like holy shit, no, no, no,
Yeah.
like just like getting into it, which is like, I was doing that to myself in my own seat, but like to hear them kind of just like getting into the movie like that, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I'll let them have their fun. It's funny, and it adds a little fun to the sadness that's going on.
Yeah.
But there was like one person that turned on their phone in front of me, but like it wasn't for very long. So it was like one of the few movie experiences that I've had in a little while where I didn't see very many phones.
That's good.
Which yeah, but I love that movie. It was great. Um, and then me and Max got back into watching The Boys because we watched through the first three
Mm.
seasons last summer, and then we took like an extended break between the third and the fourth, and we just finally started watching the fourth. And I've already seen it, but it's great. I
Mm-hmm.
love that season. A lot of good stuff. We're getting towards some stuff at the end, which I'm excited for her to experience. But the we got past to the episode 5 where something happens with Huey's dad,
Oh
which
yeah, yeah, yeah.
got me the first time, but the second time it still like tugged at my heartstrings a good bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, and then I'm gonna go see the new Marvel movie Thunderbolts on Monday, I think.
Ah,
But
Cinco de Mayo.
yes, and my brother's birthday as well.
Wow.
Um,
I didn't know he was Mexican.
yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I mean, if you are born on Cinco de Mayo, then you are automatically a part of the uh,
Mexican
Hispanic
culture.
culture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but but yeah, and that's basically man. We talked a lot about. Sorry for talking so much about
Oh no, you're
SiNNers. I just
fine. No, I mean
um,
you really liked that movie, so I mean I did too, but you liked it even more. So go off, Queen.
oh, thanks. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's basically my
Um,
week.
I got one more thing to add to my week.
Hmm.
I forgot. Since my my new streaming service that is definitely HBO Max that I'm using for The Last of Us.
Hmm.
I also started watching Chernobyl as well, just because
Mm.
I've heard a lot of very good things in the first episode. Very very good. Liked it a lot. So
Yeah, I watched the first episode a while ago, but I haven't continued watching it, but I know I should
damn.
because I've heard a lot of high praise,
Yeah.
and Craig Mazin is very good.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's part of the reason why I'm watching it because like Craig Mazin, but also, I mean, you know, while I have it, might as well use my HBO Max to watch
Hmm.
that. So yeah. um,
um,
we want to do new stuff before all the roundups, or
uh, yeah, I mean we can talk some news and then do
yeah,
roundup and talk about and then do
I
scholars maybe. If
yeah
that's
yeah
what we
yeah
want to do.
we could do that. I only have one piece of music news. It's not even really news, but Pink Panthers released another song called Stateside, and the reason I'm talking about it is because I think it's a goddamn banger. It's so fun.
Ooh.
Like it's genuinely like probably one of my favorite songs of the year so far. I don't know why. Something about the melody is just like it's super dummy catchy to me.
No.
And probably my new favorite song. Actually, definitely my new favorite song that I've heard from her. She has
Mhm.
like a little, I think it's a mixtape coming out next week, and it has this song and then the song that samples, Pretty Odd.
Nice.
Both of them are gonna be on there, so I'm actually looking forward to that now because I enjoyed that last song, but then this song was bop and half. So,
Mm.
um, Yeah.
That's cool.
Stateside, Pink Panthers. That's all I got.
uh, there were a couple of things that I was just scrolling through Spotify last night, and there was something on the app that was just like, here's some albums to pre-save.
Hmm.
Um, I was like, oh, cool. Let's see what's coming out. And there was Kesha and stuff, and
Hmm.
uh, there was the I think Sufjan's releasing like a 10th anniversary of Carrie and Lowell,
Yeah.
um, which is cool. But then I also saw earlier this week that Lord was releasing an album,
Hmm.
but that comes out June 27th. It's
It's
called
called.
Virgin,
Yeah.
which cool. Uh,
Good for her.
been a while.
Yeah. Could it be
Solar
me?
Power came out. I thought you meant releasing music, but yeah, Virgin too.
Yeah.
Uh,
Both.
but yeah, it's also an interesting little album cover there.
Hmm.
Um, looks like she's wearing pants, but there's like it's a belt buckle. That's what that is.
Oh, I thought it was an
Yeah,
X-ray thing. I guess I haven't seen
yeah,
the
it is.
album
It
cover.
is an X-ray, but like it's an X-ray, but it looks like she's wearing pants while in the X-ray. There's like a zipper from the pants and a belt buckle. Um,
Oh, I
which
haven't
like
looked at it closely. I'm pulling it up now. But
but I
oh
liked the
yeah,
single that she released. But nothing mind blowing. But I'd be interested in hearing how that album goes.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, I'll be
and then I
listening
also
to it just because I like keeping up on artists and Alice's artists.
right.
But yes.
And then I also, in looking through those pre-saved albums, there's a new Arcade Fire album coming out
I did hear
uh,
about that.
next week.
Oh,
Pink Elephant.
yeah,
um, and I was like, oh, what the huh? And
yeah.
then I went, to Album of the Year to see, if it was on there as well. And in the upcoming albums, and it's currently at a 55 with 2 critic scores.
Ooh,
Um, which good sign.
yeah.
I liked. I think I remember liking their last record.
Yeah, I
I haven't
enjoyed their
returned to
last
it.
one. Yeah.
Hmm.
I
I
mean,
haven't returned to
yeah.
it, but sorry,
So,
go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say I enjoyed it. It's not. I'm kind of in the same boat. I haven't really returned to it, but there are certain songs on it that are like genuinely really good. Um,
Yeah.
but
And then I also saw in the Album of the Year anticipated albums. There's a Wet Leg album coming out
oh, I still need to
on
listen to the
in on
first one.
I would recommend doing so. It's a
Yeah.
great record. July 11th is when that comes out, and I'm
Mhm.
excited for that because I had heard nothing about that. So
Yeah, me neither.
uh, that's cool. Um, that's
Sick.
all the music news. So, um, other than Scholars coming out, we can talk
Mm-hmm.
about soon. But in like other news, surprise Duolingo sucks asshole.
Uh-oh. Wait, I'm
Um,
using Duolingo. What are they doing?
so earlier this week, the CEO or whatever came out and was like, "Yeah, we're moving towards being completely AI. We're gonna get rid of all of our real people employees, and we're just gonna go full AI pretty soon."
Oh,
Um, so that sucks.
that's awesome.
um, from a very well respected app, especially with like they got good mascot. People love Duo the bird. They've been very funny across social media, and now they're throwing that away, and they're just going to the thing that everybody has been hating on and shitting on because it sucks and AI sucks.
Yeah. I mean,
Which
at least
is
in terms of like because I have actually been using Duolingo for the last
uh
34 days. I think I'm on a streak. Espanol. um, um, but, I actually looked that up like a couple weeks ago or so, like how much AI do they use? Because like, I'm not sure how much you used Duolingo before, but they have like different
yeah.
like characters, like recurring characters basically.
Mhm.
And each of them have their own voice. And like throughout most of the lessons, it sounds pretty electronic, but like it kind of sounds electronic in the way that like Siri is electronic. You know what I mean? Where it's not like it sounds like it's a voice bank that's saying stuff, which is fine
Yeah.
or whatever. But then they also sometimes they would have real actors doing those voices, and it sounded completely different and completely normal and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So I don't know. Well, I looked up like do they use AI or whatever, and it's like yeah, they do generate a lot of stuff like that through AI, at least the lessons themselves, which
Mhm.
is I don't know, a little weird, but I mean
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that. But what you're saying though with replacing everybody who's working with AI, that's well, I mean, probably not everybody because someone's got to own the company. But
Yeah. Yeah.
most people with AI, that's a different story, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Not cool though. And then the news that came out today, which everyone was getting excited for it. Gamers were excited to finally see this release happen at the end of the year, which it was told to us it was going to be happening. GTA 6 from Rockstar
Hmm.
Games got delayed until May 26th, 2026. Um, which, after. Uh, yes,
Yeah,
what's another year
yeah.
in the 13 years we've been waiting already? Uh, it's kind of crazy uh, to me that it's been that long.
Oh yeah,
Definitely does
crazy that it's been that long. Yeah.
feel, yeah, it definitely does feel like it's been that long. It's definitely like, yeah, damn, there hasn't been a GTA game in fucking over a decade.
Yeah,
But
I saw someone post something that because I do remember how long it felt. I mean, probably just because I was a goddamn child, but like how long it felt between GTA 4 and GTA 5. Just
mhm.
because GTA 4 is really what I don't want to say I grew up with, but like I grew up with watching people play that one, right? Like
Mhm.
and I remember that wait feeling like it was a long time. And then but now like apparently GTA 5 and GTA 3 are going to be closer together than GTA 5 and GTA 6. So,
Oh my god.
which is like insane.
Yeah, this game better be fucking good, dude.
Yeah.
I know that this isn't the only thing they've been working on. I know they did Red Dead 2 and
Hmm.
everything between GTA 5 and GTA 6, but also Red Dead Redemption 2 came out.
2018, right?
Um,
Or 17?
yeah, yeah,
I think
it's
it was 18
going.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going on like however many years it is, 8, 6,
I don't
5.
want to think about it.
How old is Trench?
uh, 7, right?
7, yeah.
Oh my god.
Um, so yeah, it's in the time between Red Dead 2 and GTA 6, I feel like they could have done something. Uh,
Yeah.
but this game better be damn good because especially if it's gonna be $100 like the rumors have been saying, or anything like that. Like if they're gonna be charging that much money and they're gonna make us wait 13 years for a new game, then this shit better be mind blowing.
Yeah. I
But
mean, yeah, when it comes to the delay itself, I mean, I think I even mentioned on pod, but maybe not. I definitely mentioned to you at some point, like, that I would not be surprised if it was
no,
delayed just because we hadn't seen any trailers or anything besides the one big one from last
yeah,
summer. And I was like, it's a little weird that we haven't heard anything about that again yet. But
yeah,
uh, yeah, makes
yeah,
sense. Can't wait to play it on PC in 3 years.
right.
If I'm
Um,
lucky.
but that was a little bit of news. We'll see. We'll see next year.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, we're not uploading another podcast until GTA 6 is out. We're putting our foot down.
Broken Boys 300 before GTA 6. Just
Damn.
kidding. Uh,
You might not be kidding. Oh no,
oh,
that's
maybe
that's probably a while away. I can't do math like that. That's a lot of
yeah,
episodes
like
though.
82 episodes. Yeah, there's
It's
only
a lot of
52 weeks
weeks.
in a year.
Yeah.
Uh, um, Yeah, that's all the news I got. I don't know if you want to talk about The Last of Us at all. I don't have a ton to say about
Yeah, we can
this episode.
mention it briefly. I mean, do you have anything to say that's like spoilers? I guess. Like, I'm just wondering if I should put a
Um,
warning.
yeah, nothing like crazy. I mean, like the fallout of the last episode
Right.
is kind of like the big thing in this episode.
Right.
Um, but I can still dodge around.
Yeah, I'll know what you're talking about, and like people who have seen it will know what you're talking about. But yeah, we can
Yeah.
dodge around. But I guess just I don't really have too much to say about it. I think it's a great setup episode. I mean, obviously we know all what next happens in the game, with set pieces and just the general tensions that will be happening for the next foreseeable future. Um,
Mhm.
and I think this is all set up. It's a combination of setup for that, and also, like you said, fallout from the last episode. So, like, I think
Yeah.
it's a very transitional episode, but I think it was done well. I think Bella
Yeah.
did great with acting a lot of the emotional scenes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I think so too. There were a couple of genuine like tearjerker moments in this episode, like especially at the beginning with Tommy.
mhm,
I thought it was that little line that he says is like it got me pretty good.
yeah, it
Um,
was a good addition.
but then yeah, also like the recreation of the scene in the game where Ellie goes into the house and
Mhm,
just experiences things that you know make her cry. Just you know hit me like a truck as well. Very
yeah,
well acted. Very good big tears out of Bella Ramsey there. Um, but there were some things that they changed. I liked the council bit. Um, I thought that was interesting.
yeah,
Uh, and also like giving a bigoted character little character growth. It
yeah.
was and more than one scene was it was an interesting addition as well. I didn't mind it. I think it's I thought it was an okay ad.
I
Gives
I like it as an ad. I mean, I think it's good
yeah
to you know show people are redeemable, especially in a game with or well, a story with the themes of this story. I think it
yeah
makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
yeah. Um, I liked I liked how Craig and Neil talked about it, how they saw it in the podcast about the
Yeah.
episode as well. Um, and then I like the introduction of a certain cult that we'll be seeing more of
Hmm.
down the line. They added some, seeing them so early on compared to the game is pretty cool and interesting. I'm interested to see how they'll flesh out that group of people because we didn't really get a ton of fleshing out of like that group as a whole.
Yeah.
Um, but I'd be interested to see what they do with it. And then I really the discourse of this episode was like made me very mad. But it's continued to make me very mad as I keep looking at it.
When you say
Just like
discourse, do you
people,
just mean people being mean to Bella? Like
and also just like it's not frame for frame exactly to the game.
oh yeah, yeah, that kind of
Um,
stuff. Yeah.
and that that pisses me off so much because it's like if they did that, it would be boring. I don't I don't know what to
Yeah.
tell you. Uh, like there's a scene in a tent
Hmm.
towards the end of the episode that people were like, well, she wouldn't say that in the game. That's not this is stupid.
Yeah.
Um, and just like you just fucking stop talking.
Yeah.
Uh,
I know it was a controversial decision, and I think it's a little different for this season as well. But like when people like for last season were talking about how like oh Pedro and Bella weren't even allowed to play the games before doing their characters or whatever. Um, I think I've really I mean I know you agree with this too, but like I've really grown to appreciate that they aren't doing carbon copies of the characters. Like
mhm.
they're writing the characters to Bella, to Pedro, to Isabella, right? They're
Yeah,
writing the characters to how the actors would play them, which I think is very smart. And it's okay that this is just like an alternate universe version of these characters. I think that's
Yeah,
probably the best way to do that when you're doing an adaptation where you don't get to, walk alongside them and loot a town for 20 minutes and learn about their
right.
backstory and shit. Like it
Yeah.
makes sense to adapt the characters in a slightly different way, but also the same way. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
think that's been a very smart decision on the show's part.
I think so as well. And there's a certain aspect to Dina's character that happens in the game that I was interested to see if they would adapt that or change it in some way.
Mm-hmm.
But from this episode, it looks like they're keeping it, and I'm very interested to see how that goes. I know a
Yeah.
lot of people would really prefer, uh, if they just did scenes shot for shot exactly the same as the game for the show. Um, and I understand that it can be really cool, like the dance scene in the
Oh
first
yeah.
episode, shot for shot, beautiful, really, really well done. But I really, really like when they add their own stuff and they flesh out different characters, they do different scenes. I think that it adds a lot. Like you said, it's like an alternate reality to these characters and to the game, to where it's not exactly the same. There's a lot
Yeah.
of the same elements. There's a lot of the same feeling, but it's different in a way that's really conducive to being a television show rather than the
Right.
game.
It also
Um,
works for the actors, which I think is a
yeah,
very, very big point when, they're the ones delivering all this stuff.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I like the episode. I'm very interested to see um, this next episode. There's stuff with Isaac coming up, which we don't really get to see him very much at all in the game.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how they flesh out his character. It's the same actor from the game.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Jeffrey Wright, I think, is his name.
It sounds right.
Um,
No
but
pun intended.
he's a great he's a great actor. He played Commissioner Gordon in The Batman with Robert Pattinson.
Oh, that's right.
Um, yeah. But yeah, he's great. I'm very interested to see. There's some more stuff from the game coming up that I'm very in this episode from the see what's next
Yeah.
stuff that I'm interested in seeing played out. But yeah, good
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
Uh, grow up, people.
Good episode. Grow up. Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. But Mike talked about it earlier. We got a little monthly roundup of albums we listened to in the month of April.
Yeah.
I believe I only have I think I have four.
Okay. I think I have 9, so
Okay.
I will be quick. Some of these I will be very quick on. First thing I listened to this month. It's kind of hard to believe. I'm looking at these first two that these came out this month. For some reason, even though I said it's already May, these two feel like they were forever ago.
Mm.
Which aptly put, the first album I have is "Forever How Long" by Black Country New Road. Um, I really like this album. I think I can confidently say it's currently my album of the year. I think. It's some other albums are very close to it that I'll figure out as time goes on. But this record's great. I mean, I still have it as my profile picture. I think it's a lot more folkier and a lot more, I guess, positive vibes than their other stuff, but I think it's for the better. I really love all three of the vocalists on here. And the instrumentals kick ass as always, and the composition of everything is very detailed and very rewarding for multiple listens as well. It's one that I've just been routinely throwing on, and like, I don't know, it's great. I think I mentioned, yeah, it was me who mentioned that it gives me some Pretty Odd vibes in that sense, and I still hold true to that. I think it's a great album. And I have it at a strong 8 right now. And my favorites on it are "Nancy Tries to Take the Night," um, "Two Horses," and I think I would highlight "Happy Birthday" as well. That one's really grown on me a lot. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. The first thing I listened to was it was in the middle of a Civ game. So it's kind of half listened to, but I did enjoy what I heard, and it was Michigan by Sufjan Stevens.
Oh
Um, Vanessa had talked about how much she liked this one.
yeah.
and we had a little talk about Sufjan and the albums that we like by him. But she was like, "Yeah, Michigan's great," and I was like, "Okay, yeah, I'll check it out at some point." And then I was like, "You know what? Fuck it, I'll do it right now."
We'll do it live.
So I'll do it. We're doing it live. And yeah, I checked it out. I haven't returned to it. I do plan on it, but I did like it a lot. It's a lot different vibe wise than what I experienced in Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's great. It's a lot more like somber. It's a lot more like sad sounding.
More?
Well, than Illinois, yeah.
Oh, then Illinois. Okay.
um, yeah, Illinois was very like bombastic, very like
That's
Broadway kind of
true. Yeah.
sounding. But Michigan just like very more like condensed and like more Sufjan-esque than Illinois was. And like I said, I need to revisit it, but I liked it a lot. I don't know if I like it as much as Illinois just off of first listen. But yeah, some of my favorites that I can remember were the first track, Flint, for the unemployed and underpaid, for the widows in paradise, for the fatherless, and Ypsilanti, and Oh Detroit, lift up your weary head. For those are the ones that I can remember. But
Yeah.
great album. I would check it out. Sufjan is great from the albums that I've heard by him. Yeah, good stuff.
Cool.
I'd give it like a decent to solid 8, probably.
All right. Yeah. As I always say, whenever Sufjan's brought up, I need to listen to more Sufjan. But yeah, the next thing I listened to was The Crux by Joe. And I do actually, oh God, sorry, I'm just looking at my thing right now. I didn't realize I had so many likes on this review. God damn, I'm so popular. Got struck my ego.
Taking mine away.
Yeah, no. But yeah, no, I do really enjoy this record. I think there's some really catchy ass tracks on here, some great production as well, and it's one that I actually want to revisit and keep revisiting, partly because I know you like it a lot, and I think I've also, I don't know, maybe it's just because of the positive Black Country New Road vibes, but like I'm kind of vibing with that warmer sound, or maybe it's just because of the time of the year. I don't know. But yeah, I did like it quite a bit on first listen, but I could see this, or not first listen. I've listened to it a few times. But I could see it growing on me even more. Some of my favorites on it are Egg and Fly, and I think I'd throw Charlie's Garden in there too. I don't know. We'll see. But I do like it. I want to keep listening to it throughout the year though. And right now I have it at like a decent 7. But yeah.
Yeah. The next thing I listened to coincidentally was The Crux by Joe.
Yeah.
And this is one that it's been on repeat and on shuffle throughout the entire month. I've really enjoyed it. It's grown on me even more than when I first listened to it. I love how different it is from Decide. It's got a lot more like classic rock vibes and influence. I talked about it when we talked about these albums, but like it feels like this feels like Joe's like Sergeant Pepper or Pretty Odd, like how you felt Forever How Long was had some pretty odd vibes. I don't know. There's something about The Crux that just like gave up like this weird kind of otherworldly weirdo kind of music, and
Yeah.
especially with like Charlie's Garden, like you were saying, like it gives off these vibes that like just exude that kind of like Sergeant Pepper esque feeling.
Yeah.
But I thought it was. I think it's really fun. I think Joe Keery sounds great on it. I love a lot of the instrumentals. These songs are like super catchy, and it gets like a lot of the lyrics get like personal as well. It's just I don't know. I think that this one still is on track to be a little over Decide as I keep listening to it. In my opinion, it's just it's just great, and I've really enjoyed it, and it just keeps growing. So, but my favorites are Fly, Egg, Potion, Delicia has grown on me quite a bit. And Back on You is also a sweet one. But I'd give this a decent to a solid 9.
Wow, nice. 666. Just curious, what's the difference between a decent and a solid 9?
To decent, it's like between like 92 and 94.
Okay.
Solid is like 95, 96.
That makes sense. It does.
Strong.
It does. I just feel like it's okay. Next thing I listened to off the vibes of The Crooks by Joe was The Downward Spiral by Nine Inch Nails. Um, I think it was actually after that Miley Cyrus track came out. I was like, you know what? People are saying this feels Trent Reznor-ish. Let's give the boy a proper listen. I did listen to this like I remember back in college. I listened to it like one day, but I wasn't really like this definitely is like a headphones type of album and like listening to it in the car and like walking from place to place between classes doesn't really do it justice. In some ways it does, but in some ways it doesn't. But I really enjoyed this. I like really got sucked into my listen that I did. I just like turned the lights off and had those headphones on and listened to it. The production was really really cool. Felt very atmospheric and very sucked you in, like I was saying. And I don't know, I liked it a lot. I don't really have much highlights because I've only given it the one listen, but I mean, like the big ones like Closer and Hurt are very good. And I enjoyed pretty much everything on here, and I think it is a very unique album. That's I don't know, really cool. I liked it a lot. And I have it at a decent 9. That's how much I liked it. So,
Very good.
yeah.
Yeah. Nine Inch Nails is one that I've been interested in checking out, but just
Yeah.
haven't yet. I like a lot of Trent Reznor's soundtracks, though.
Yeah. I mean,
Great stuff.
it is kind of crazy hearing like stuff from the Challenger soundtrack, and then it sounds completely different. Not completely different, but like pretty different from
Yeah.
stuff like Downward Spiral. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, listening to fucking the oh fuck, what's the
Social Network.
Facebook movie? Yeah,
Yeah.
Social Network soundtrack, and then hearing Hurt is like,
Yeah.
oh okay,
Yeah.
same person. But yeah, next thing I listened to was Forever How Long by Black Country New Road. I guess technically it would have been before Joe because I went to the listening party, but
Yeah.
in my own personal listening, the Joe first.
Yeah.
But yeah, Black Country New Road. Forever How Long. This one I haven't returned to nearly as much as Joe. Joe's just easier to just kind of throw on
Yeah.
and shuffle, especially if I'm like at work and I'm just like making sandwiches. I'm like, oh, I'll listen to something more upbeat. But like Forever How Long is like a whole album experience. It's really really good. It's not as good as their last record. Yeah, I think that Answer Up There is like their opus. I don't think they can really ever
Yeah.
get past that, which I don't think that's a bad thing. But as this like new feeling without Isaac, as in the next era of this band, I think that it's a really good way of introducing us to that in a studio sense rather than the live setting of live from
Bush Hall.
Bush Hall. But it's really good. I think it's great. I haven't. I need to return to it more than I have. But I think that's their storytelling has become has exceeded what it was before. I think that's songs like Two Horses and Nancy Tries to Take the Night. Fantastic in terms of storytelling. I love how many instruments they use within this band. Like the saxophone goes hard, all the trumpets and horns, the piano throughout this record. Fantastic. Yeah, it's just really extremely well made music. It's nerdy, but it's it still rocks hard, and it makes me rock hard. So,
wow.
but I I'm very excited to see them live. I think that this record, some of the stuff off here is going to be super sick. But yeah, I like it a lot. Need to give it more listens. It's still really up there for albums of the year thus far. I give it a strong 8, and some of my favorites are Two Horses, Nancy Tries to Take the Night. Happy Birthday has also really grown on me. Um, and Besties as well. But yeah, great
Cool.
record.
Yes, I agree. Um, Next thing I listened to was the American Football discography. I had already heard their first album. We did an artist analysis on this if you want more in-depth thoughts on each record. But I had already listened to the first record, but listened to LP2 and LP3. And I thought it was good. I think during the review I said this is just kind of one of those bands where it's like it just sounds good no matter what they do. It's just varying levels of good. Like it's I really like the vibes, depressive late night vibes. I think they do it very well, and some of the sounds that they were exploring on LP3, especially, were very cool. I don't really know too much about what their current whereabouts are, but if they, I would be interested in hearing more music from them if possible. I don't remember what I gave them as a whole. Maybe like a light 8 sounds about right. Um, I don't know. Maybe my thoughts have changed as it's marinated with me. But yeah, I really like their first album, and their third album is pretty good too. So yeah.
Yeah, that's all. The American Football discography is also the next and unfortunately last thing I listened to in April.
Hmm.
Uh, but I also really enjoyed it. I think that their vibes are pretty immaculate when it comes to depressing and like rainy day kind of stuff. I hadn't listened to anything other than the first track, Never Meant, that
Yeah.
you had as song of the week a while ago. But I was impressed by a lot of it. I think that's they kind of grandfathered Midwest emo in a way that inspired a lot of different bands that I really enjoy nowadays, like Backseat Lovers and
Mm.
even like Freako. Um,
Yes.
but
That album I still need
yes,
to listen to.
you should.
Yeah,
We're about to
I
see them
will.
live.
You know what?
Uh,
That's gonna be a goal of mine this week.
but yeah, it's just it's all really well done, and between the first record and the last two, with that big gap in time, and the way that their like production kind of evolved and became more like just like in depth and less like uh and just like less of like a what am I trying to say? The production on the first record wasn't like super like technical or anything, but as they went on in the last couple records, it got more technical.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
uh, and I think that was a cool. It made a cool addition. I think the last couple records sounded great. The second one, unpopular opinion, as I said in the Ars analysis, but that was my favorite.
Yeah.
And but yeah, they made some really good stuff, and I would, like you said, I would love to hear um, more from them if they plan on coming back. But as a whole, I gave them a solid 8.
Cool.
And, yeah, great stuff.
Cool. All right. And I will try and get through these last ones quick as I can.
Thank you.
I can go pretty quick on this one. Next thing I listened to was More Chaos by Ken Carson. I didn't like it, and I gave it a decent 1. The next thing I listened to after that was Revenge Seekers by Jane Remover, and I did like this one. I'll give a little more thoughts on it because I liked it. Um, but it's a pretty crazy album. It kind of actually does some of the genre stuff that the Ken Carson album was doing, believe it or not, at least in terms of like the rage sound, but it mixes it with like hyperpop and digicore is something that's listed as the main genre here. I don't really know too much about that, but it sounds right. But it's got like dance stuff to it too. It's very abrasive in a lot of ways, but like also just really catchy and really fun, and just like you know it's experimental, but I think it's a really fun presence of experimental music. That's pretty cool. Some of my favorites on it were Psycho Boost with Danny Brown. That's a great song. Experimental Skin, Dancing with Your Eyes Closed, and I think Professional Vengeance was one that I enjoyed quite a bit too. So yeah, would recommend that one. That's kind of like that's looking to be the music nerds album of the year so far.
Mm.
But oh, I gave it a decent 8 as well. That's my score. A lot of decents I've been giving, as you'll continue to hear. Next thing I listened to after that was Heels Have Eyes by West Side Gun. Was the most reviewed thing of that week. Small little EP, very forgettable, but also pleasant to listen to. So decent 6. It was fine. Then after that was Off the Wall by Michael Jackson. Like I said, the great album is pretty great. And I knew some of the songs on here. Actually, no, I really only knew one song, which was Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. I've listened to that one before. But everything else I've heard bits and pieces of, but never like heard the whole thing. And yeah, no, it's a great album. I knew it was gonna get like kind of funky and disco like in there. But the
Mhm.
vocals really surprised me. A lot of the harmonies and the melodies and stuff are just like super catchy and super warm. And there's a lot of like additional instrumentation on here with like horns and strings that just they sound immaculate. Like it's Quincy Jones on there, rest in peace. But
Yeah.
yeah, he really produced the hell out of this record, and it just sounds amazing. And this is one I've been listening to a lot the last few days. It's very good, maybe hot opinion, but yeah, some of my favorites on here. Oh god, it's kind of hard to even uh talk about, but like I guess like Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, Rock With You,
Mhm.
Get on the Floor, Off the Wall, and She's Out of My Life. I think that's what I would highlight. Yeah, it's great. And yeah, I really like it. Decent 9. um,
Yeah.
hell yeah. And then the last thing I listened to was Viagra Boys by Viagra Boys. And I thought this one was pretty good. I'm not sure if you remember. I listened to their album from 2022, and I probably talked about it on the
Mhm.
podcast.
Yeah.
It's it's kind of like it's kind of got like that post punk vibe to it, but like it's the lead singer is very like silly and out there. Like he's very much
Mhm.
a character, and but kind of in the best way. Like it does feel very fresh in a lot of ways. Like the opening lyric on the album, he like does like a slight belch like mid vocal take, and like
Oh.
it's I don't know. It's stuff that sounds like it should be gross, but like it's like I don't know. It has a certain charm to it that's like very characteristic. But at the same time, it's also not necessarily for me. Even though I do think it's fun and there are some really cool songs on here. It's
Mhm.
it's just it's a little out there, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't see myself listening to it casually that much.
Yeah.
But it's still cool. I liked it. I think it's a good record. Some of my favorites are that opening song, "Man Made of Meat," and "You Need Me." I liked that one a lot too. And I think I liked "Medicine for Horses" quite a bit as well. And
Mhm.
yeah, I have it at like a decent 7. I think it's cool. But uh, yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Cool.
Whew. And now, what you've all been waiting for. um,
Yeah.
um, and I can't even really. Well, the Car Seat Headrest album, I think, is what we're going to talk about now.
Yes. Yes.
The Scholars, new one from the boy and his boys.
Mhm.
And yeah, I mean, I've only listened to this once. So like, I don't really have like too much in-depth thoughts, but I can talk about
Yeah.
my feelings on it. But I think you should go first though, because I just gave a whole bunch of spiel on it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I've given this 2 listens
nice.
thus far. One last night and one before the pod, and yeah, I think it's very well done. I definitely think it's better than A Door Less Open,
Oh yeah,
their last record.
making a door less open. I think.
Making a Door Less Open. Um, which I didn't hate the last record. I think there was some stuff on there that I did enjoy, but it was nowhere near like the same love as I felt for like Face to Face, Twin Fantasy, or Teens of Denial, uh, or even what is that? How to Leave Town. That was
Oh
also
yeah,
really
yeah,
good in
yeah.
their discography. But the Scholars, it's very different from a lot of the Car Seat Headrest that has come before it. There's a lot of stuff that like reminded me of the Neutral Milk Hotel album that I listened
Mm,
to, their big one. There was some stuff in there that was like, oh, it's giving off kind of those vibes. Um, there's a lot of like longer tracks on here, especially Planet Desperation, which is almost 20 minutes long.
yeah.
But it doesn't. For me, it didn't really lose its steam all too much. There were a lot of different parts to it. There's like one weird part, maybe like 15 or so minutes in, where like the effects on the vocals get a
Yeah.
little weird. I wasn't huge on that, but otherwise, I think the song was like well done for how long it was. Um, but like there's some like really good stuff on here. I really like the Catastrophe. It Gets the Main, which was the first single,
Hmm.
and my favorite was Reality, which is in between Gets the Main and Planet Desperation, in that line of long songs. But I think it's well done. I need more listens to it. I think that as I listen to it more, it'll grow on me more than I already have enjoyed it. But it's very different. Like I said, it's not. You're not gonna like go from Twin Fantasy and be like, oh, let's listen to the Scholars. It's not gonna be like you're gonna get two very different experiences.
Right.
Um, what in comparison to like if you go from like Teens of Denial to Twin Fantasy, like those are fairly similar. Um, but but yeah, I like this record. I think there's a lot of really cool stuff. Different vibes than I'm used to. Um, but yeah, overall, I like it a lot. On first couple listens, I think I'd give it like a solid 8.
Cool. Yeah, no, I really enjoy this record too. And I agree with what you're saying that like it feels different for them, but I also think it feels like a natural evolution of their sound. You know, Will Toledo, even though I think he's maybe a more consistent writer than something of the likes of like Weezer, he still has like
Right.
he still kind of has that like nerdy charm to him in a way. And I think doing like this rock opera basically is what I'm seeing this album being labeled as a lot. I think that's a type of sound that works really well with kind of the quote unquote nerdy or quirky aspects of his voice and stuff. But like I really do think like there's a lot of great stuff on the record. All the singles I really enjoyed. So CCF and the Catastrophe and Gethsemane. Gethsemane. Oh my God, Semini maybe. I don't know.
I don't
No idea. I tried saying it another way and I couldn't even do it. So, but I think I really liked all those singles. There's a lot of like, building on itself that happens throughout the record, and Will Toledo sounds really, really good on here too. Like I really love his voice on this album. Um, and yeah, I really enjoy a lot of it. For me, and once again, I want to preface that I've only listened to the album once, but some of the long songs I think were feeling pretty long to me. Reality, I really liked how that track ended. Like the last 5 minutes of it, I really enjoyed, but the first six didn't really do too much for me. Um, and Planet Desperation, I don't know, for me that one just didn't like really meld together. And maybe it's because I went into it late at night knowing it was a basically 20-minute song, and maybe that was getting to me in some way possibly. But I don't know, it didn't really, like, even though I really enjoyed a lot of parts within that song, I'm not sure if it came together as a full package for me, and felt worth that track length. But I don't know. Like, I think there might be some pacing stuff in general on here that I have some issues with. But like I said, there's a lot of stuff I really love on it too. Just the album in general, and I think it's a really great addition to their discography. And like you said, it's a bit different for them, but in a way that feels naturally different. unlike making a door less open, which felt unnaturally different for them.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I'm enjoying it quite a bit. I guess I really wanted to love it more. But yeah, I might. I I think you were saying this about this album. I could see this growing on me with a lot more listens as well. It's definitely not. I don't think it's one that's meant to be uh taken in and talked about after one listen, unfortunately. But I think it's good though. And I enjoyed my time with it, and I'm looking forward to listening to it again. And I have it at like a light 8 right now. Yeah.
Huh, cool.
Cool. All right. Well, that's the episode. No, I guess you have anything more to add on with any of that stuff, or?
No, I don't think so.
All
I
right.
think I'm all talked out pretty
Me
much.
too. I have talked quite a bit. Well, you have to do a little bit more talking though, because you are up for Song of the Week, kind sir.
All right. Do you mind if I go with a longie, or would you rather
You can
I
go with
keep
the
it short?
longie.
All right.
I don't
Well,
got any waiting.
all right. Well, as I listened to the album a couple more times, the first single they released it really grew on me. So I'm gonna go with, and I looked it up.
Oh,
It's Gethsemane.
oh, so like I was trying to say, but failing to say.
Yes,
Okay.
and it's a historical place in Jerusalem.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Gethsemane by Car Seat Headrest.
All right.
You love again, you try again.
All right, that was Gethsemane by Car Seat Headrest. What do you think, Mike?
I feel like a brand new man. I feel like I talked to you like 10 minutes ago.
Right?
No, that's a great track. I've really grown to I mean, I like that one on first listen, but I really do think that's a prime example of this album, you know. It needs multiple listens to like truly appreciate everything that's going on. Like I think the pacing of that song is great. Will's vocals, like I said, are really fantastic on that whole track. And I really love the melodies that come in and out throughout the entire track too. Like there's so many distinct sections that are so like
Mm.
memorable and so pleasant to listen to. And I don't know, it's a great track, and I think it builds on itself very well. And is very enjoyable. I don't know. I don't know. It's one of my
Yeah.
favorites. I think it might be my favorite from the album, but probably one of my favorite songs of the year is what I'm saying. Though it's really
Mhm.
good.
Yeah, it is. It is just like the whole 10 minutes ranges, like you said, just from like all over the place. There's so many cool moving parts. I love the um just the way that the you can love again if you try again. Just that one that one lyric goes throughout the entire song.
Yeah.
But like
Well,
as it
actually,
gets to like the climax.
sorry to interrupt you, but that's something I actually noticed on this listen is that that lyric actually doesn't come in until pretty late into the track, but it's so memorable though because it loops throughout
Yeah.
that last section a lot. But yeah, yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, no, it's great. I love the sound of it. The Will sounds great. All the lyrics are like super interesting, and I was reading like the blurb for like their like the artist description on Spotify, and it talks about like the kind of story of the record, and they themselves call it a rock opera. So
okay.
um I have to really look closer at the lyrics and listen to the whole album to see how like the story goes.
Yeah,
But
I'm not sure if you've looked at the Genius pages, but every verse is like notated with a different character. So like
oh really?
there's a whole story going on here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd be very interested to read through that because like
Yeah, me
the way
too.
that talking about it in this blurb, it's about like a spiritual crisis, it seems. So
Yeah.
but very cool. I like the track a lot, and it's a little bit of a
Oh,
record breaker
it
because
is.
it's the longest song in the Broken Boys playlist
It sure
now.
is. I was just about to bring that up too, but yet you've done it.
I've done it.
You beat Turbine's Pigs.
Which
uh,
song's better? You decide. Um,
Daniel's gonna love seeing that whenever he gets to this part of the playlist.
oh yes,
But
but yeah. What do you think of this week, Mike?
Well, there was a few great stuff that I listened to, but I can't have you steal my record, so I got to go with Planet Desperation by Car Seat. Now, I got to one up you by going almost double. Um, no, there was a lot of great things that I listened to throughout this week, though. But Michael Jackson album was very good, surprisingly, and one of the songs that like I've heard the instrumental from before, but I didn't know it was him, is "Rock with You," and
Mm.
you know what? Even just listening to that song a few times, like there's something just addicting about it, and so pleasant. And I love a lot of stuff on it. And I'm gonna talk more about it after we listen to the song. So I'm gonna go with "Rock with You" by Michael Jackson.
Rock with you all night.
All right, that was "Rock with You" by Michael Jackson. What'd you think of that, Colin?
Banger.
Yeah.
Banger, brother. Yeah, oddly enough, my first introduction to this song wasn't Michael Jackson.
Oh.
And it was way back in 2016 when a little comedy band known as Ninja Sex Party released their first cover album, Under the Covers. And yeah, they had a cover "Rock with You," and I really liked it on that record. And I probably didn't know it was Michael Jackson for a little while after I had heard it. But you know, both versions are great.
Yeah.
Michael sounds great on it. You know, uh, I love the instrumental a lot on that. There's a lot of
Yeah.
really fun little bleeps and bloops kind of disco stuff on there as well. It's really well made, and it's just super catchy. Love that track.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I also didn't know this was Michael Jackson. I've heard like the opening, like first few seconds of the track before, like I think in memes maybe. I don't know honestly where I've where I've heard it before, but I know I've heard like the instrumental before. At least like the beginning part, but like no idea this is a Michael Jackson track, and also just no idea how great it is. Like it's really one that even with like repeated listens, I'm like, oh god damn, this is just such a really good song. Like I know you were mentioning like the bleeps and bloops of the instrumental, which like those are there, but even like there's like some strings in there and some like horn lines in there too that like just sound so good. Like they're it's all like really subtle, but like really, I don't know, I guess just masterful in a way. Like just the
Yeah.
way that it all melds together. And the vocals are great, and the background vocals and everything. It is a really, really damn good song that I don't know. I mean, I'm sure people have been talking about this for a long time by this point, but I'm discovering Michael Jackson songs that are good. But yeah, I don't know. I guess that's what I gotta say about it. I really like that track a lot.
Very cool.
Very, very cool. And I guess we're all good to go unless you got anything else to add on. Last second.
Yeah, no, I think we're good. I think we're all good.
All good. Well, we do have something else to add on, and that of course is our beautiful outro segment, narrated by yours truly. Um, and speaking of yours truly, dear audio listener, love you to death. And you know, we appreciate you. Thank you for
Yeah.
listening on Spotify and Apple Music. Go ahead and rate us stars and all that kind of stuff. 5 if you wish. And you can find us over on YouTube though too. We're under the same name, Broken Boys, capital N BOIS. And over there you can see a whole bunch of stuff. For one, you can see our beautiful profile pictures of Lemo from Black Country New Road, as well as a couple of SiNNers over there, I think. Right?
Yep.
And yeah, you can see those, but also we got a whole bunch of links in the oh my god, links in the description for you to check out as well, such as the Song of the Week playlists, that segment that we just did. We got 3 playlists down there. We got one for me, we got one for Colin, got one for both of us combined, along with all of our guests on the show. And like I said, Colin just broke a record over there. So you got to go check it out. You got to see it, and you got to listen to all 30 hours to appreciate it.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah,
Dave.
go find them, listen to them, save all 3 of them,
Yes.
just put them all on shuffle.
Yes, yes, yes. For a second there, I thought you were saying save all 3 songs in it. Like there were 3 songs that made it 30 hours. But um, yeah, go check those out. In those playlists, you can find Geth Sent Money by
Mhm.
Car Seat Headrest. I only slightly stumbled there. And you can also find Rock With You by Michael Jackson. Go ahead, give him a gander, give him a listen, give him a like, all that stuff. And then we also have some personal stuff down there too. For me, I've made music under the name Plaintive. Go check those out on Apple Music and Spotify. Catch up on your Plaintive lore. New stuff coming soon, I swear. Just figuring out finishing detail stuff still, but it's a lot of technical stuff that's not necessarily music.
I can't wait. We
Yeah,
can't wait, man.
we can't wait. And yeah, I got that, and then I've also got my YouTube channel down there. Keep an eye on that one. And yeah, I do piano covers and other music things there. Keep your eye out there, but I also got a TikTok and my Instagram down there. Oh, and my album of the year page where I rate and review music. And in terms of my relation to you, dear viewer, um, I'm a little creature waiting outside your new house, waiting to be welcomed in, um, behind you, like a little vampire creature, um,
Oh, okay.
waiting to be welcomed into your home. Uh, That's me. Um, I'm also Irish, and Colin over here,
Oh.
I am Irish, really, but partly. And Colin, he runs our socials. He runs our Twitter page where he updates when videos are posted, as well as all other things that need to be updated, as well as our TikTok and Instagram pages where he posts little funnies of us being goofy goobers. And so go check out all those and give him some love and support. And you can also give him love and support on his Album of the Year page where he rates and reviews music. And even more so on his Letterboxd where he rates and reviews movies, including SiNNers, probably. Actually, I think I
Yep.
liked that review. And the other movie that I forgot the name of that you watched with Jack Wade.
Companion.
So go check those out. Go give him some love and support. He needs it. And Colin, what's your relation to our dear viewer?
Well, as your little vampire buddy creature looking to be welcomed in, yeah, I'm gonna be inside of the juke joint, and I'm gonna be real scared out of my mind because while we're in here and we gotta survive till daytime, there's a certain person who's real antsy, and it's really about to ruin the whole thing. So gotta be safe, gotta make those stakes. But you know, as we wait for the sun to come up, that antsy person is gonna tell all those vamps to come on in, motherfuckers, and you know, it's gonna go down from there. You're gonna waltz right in, do a little Irish jig as you do so,
Yeah.
and me, I'm gonna be holding the steak, maybe some garlic, but you know, I can't resist you.
Of course.
And as you pounce on one of the other people in the barn who happens to be a dear viewer from behind, I'm gonna come try to save that dear viewer from your vampiric bite with my steak. Unfortunately, our dear viewer has been bitten, and as I arrive to the two of you in front of the viewer, I'm going to have to take the stake from behind you, Mike, and stab it through you and our dear viewer.
Oh,
Um,
very
in
very
an
violent
act,
this week.
yes, in an act of salvation for
Mm.
our dear viewers, so that they might not have to become a vampire and never be able to see the sunrise again.
Yeah.
But in doing so, I've also sacrificed myself because the stake has gone through all three of us, and in a way, we're embracing.
Yeah.
With me in with me in front, Mike behind, and our dear viewer in the middle. Uh, we're all embracing. I'm gonna look at Mike over there and his beautiful vampiric Irish face with those red glowing eyes. And as a final act of love through this terrible night, I'm gonna, I'm gonna give you a big old smooch on the mouth, Mike.
Wow.
All right.
Watch out for the teeth.
Yeah, I might like it,
Okay.
But sorry, I've had some garlic, so
Oh. Ew.
It's gonna be a little bite, pun intended, and we're gonna kiss within this embrace. In this embrace, we like to call it the love cage. And if you would like your very own love cage, dear viewer, all you must do is drop your address in the comments below, and we will find you. You won't know when, you won't know where, but we will find you and give you your very own love cage. So drop that addy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Lovely descriptions for
Nice.
this week's for all the love cages, but this week's in particular.
Yeah, there's a couple sinners.
Just a couple sinners, nothing wrong with some sins, depending on who you ask. And yeah, exactly. I can't wait for that video. Cinnamon sins on sinners. Yeah. Anyways, thanks for listening this long, and next week we'll talk at you, and we'll even spin a wheel for you.
Woo.
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 Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.